It wasn't supposed to be a big moment. Not the kind that would ripple across timelines, spark endless discussions, or leave fans replaying the same few seconds over and over again. It started quietly, almost too ordinary to notice. A kitchen, soft lighting, the faint clatter of utensils. And then something unexpected happened. Jimin was standing there, side by side with Jungkook's mother, cooking. And somehow, that single image changed everything. Because when Jungkook walked in, no one was ready for what came next. At first, it was just a pause. A brief moment where he seemed to process what he was seeing. You could almost feel the shift in the air. The way his expression softened, the way his posture relaxed, the way his eyes lingered just a little longer than usual. It wasn't exaggerated, it wasn't loud, and that's exactly why it hit so deeply. His smile didn't burst out. It grew. Slowly, naturally, like something he didn't even realize he was showing. And that's what made it real. Think about it for a second. In a world where idols are constantly performing, constantly aware of cameras, constantly managing how they appear, how often do we get a reaction that feels completely unfiltered? How often do we get a glimpse of something that doesn't look like a moment, but a memory? This felt like one of those rare moments. Jungkook didn't say much at first. He didn't need to. His eyes moved between Jimin and his mom, as if trying to piece together how this scene had come to exist without him. There was a quiet disbelief there, but not the kind that comes from confusion. It was the kind that comes from being pleasantly caught off guard. And maybe that's what made fans pause too. Because what does it mean when someone you care about fits so naturally into your personal world? What does it say when two parts of your life, your chosen family and your real family, blend together without effort? It's a small thing on the surface. Cooking, talking, sharing space. But emotionally, it's something much bigger. As the moment unfolded, Jungkook's reaction became impossible to ignore. He didn't interrupt. He didn't joke right away like he often does. Instead, he watched. And that quiet observation said more than any words could. It was as if he was taking it in, letting it settle, allowing himself to feel it fully before reacting. And when he finally smiled, really smiled, it wasn't the kind you see on stage or in interviews. It was softer, warmer, almost private. That's when fans started asking questions. Was he surprised because he didn't expect Jimin to be there? Or was it something deeper? Was it the realization that Jimin had taken the time to connect with his family? Or was it simply the comfort of seeing two people he loves getting along so effortlessly? And here's where it gets interesting. Because moments like this don't exist in isolation. They carry context, history, layers of connection that fans have been observing for years. The bond between Jimin and Jungkook has always been something people talk about. But what makes it special isn't just what's shown publicly. It's the small things. The quiet support. The unspoken understanding. And this moment, it felt like a continuation of that story. Jimin wasn't just visiting. He wasn't just being polite. He looked comfortable. At ease. Like he belonged there. Like this wasn't the first time he'd stood in that kitchen, laughing softly, focusing on the task at hand while exchanging casual conversation. And that raises another question. How long had this kind of connection been building? Because relationships don't suddenly become this natural overnight. There's time behind it, effort, trust, shared experiences that aren't always visible to the public. What we saw in that moment might have only lasted a few seconds, but it hinted at something much deeper. Jungkook's reaction confirmed it. There was no awkwardness, no hesitation, just that quiet, unmistakable happiness. And if you really look at it closely, you'll notice something else. Relief. It's subtle, but it's there. The kind of relief that comes from knowing the people you care about can coexist in the same space without tension. The kind of relief that doesn't need to be expressed out loud because it's already understood. That's what made his reaction so powerful. Not the surprise, but the comfort that followed. Fans quickly picked up on this. Social media started filling with clips, screenshots, slowed-down edits, focusing on Jungkook's expression. People began analyzing every detail. The way his eyes crinkled slightly when he smiled. The way he leaned in just a bit, as if drawn to the scene. The way his energy shifted from curiosity to something softer. And then came the interpretations. Some saw it as a simple, heartwarming interaction. Others saw it as something more meaningful, a reflection of how close Jimin and Jungkook truly are beyond what we see on stage. Some even wondered if this moment revealed more about their dynamic than years of performances ever could. But here's the thing. Maybe it doesn't need to be overanalyzed to be meaningful. Sometimes, the simplest moments carry the most weight. A kitchen, a shared activity, a genuine smile. And suddenly, you have something that resonates with millions of people around the world. Why? Because it's relatable. Strip away the fame, the global recognition, the larger-than-life image, and what are you left with? Two people sharing a moment that feels incredibly human. One cooking with someone's parent, the other walking in and realizing something quietly beautiful is happening. It's the kind of moment anyone could experience. And yet, seeing it happen between people you've watched for years, that hits differently. It feels personal. It feels earned. It feels like being let in on something real. And that's where the emotional impact comes from. Jungkook's reaction wasn't dramatic, but it didn't need to be. In fact, if it had been louder, more exaggerated, it probably wouldn't have felt the same. The beauty of it was in its restraint. The way it unfolded naturally. The way it didn't try to be anything more than what it was. Authentic. And authenticity is rare. Especially in an industry where every move is often calculated, every interaction scrutinized, every moment potentially turned into content. To witness something that feels untouched by that process, it stands out. It lingers. It stays with you. That's why fans keep going back to it. Not because it's flashy, not because it's groundbreaking, but because it feels true. And maybe that's what makes this moment so powerful. It reminds people why they connected with these artists in the first place. Not just for their talent, not just for their performances, but for their humanity. For the way they make even the smallest interactions feel meaningful. For the way a simple smile can tell an entire story. So now the question shifts. What does this moment mean going forward? Is it just a fleeting interaction that fans will eventually move on from? Or is it one of those small but significant glimpses that adds another layer to how we understand their relationship? There's no definitive answer. And maybe there doesn't need to be. Because sometimes, the value of a moment isn't in what it leads to, but in what it reveals in the present. And in this case, it revealed something quietly beautiful. Connection. Comfort. A sense of belonging that doesn't need to be explained. Jungkook didn't need to say, "This makes me happy." You could see it. You could feel it. And that's enough. But what do you think? Was it just a simple, heartwarming moment? Or did it feel like something deeper? Did Jungkook's reaction stand out to you? Or was it the overall atmosphere that made it special? Moments like this don't come around often, and when they do, they tend to stay with us longer than expected. So if this one made you pause, smile, or even think a little more deeply about what it meant, don't keep that to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy breaking down moments like this, looking beyond the surface, finding the meaning in the details, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Because sometimes, the smallest stories turn out to be the ones worth telling the most.